Hello, friends, hello, foe, and welcome to episode 2 of Committee Nons. My name's Jono, and joined with me this week, as he is every single week, is a very special man. In fact, he is the first singer to ever be introduced into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's Mr. Joshua Petrenko.
That's me. I'm the first singer ever to be introduced to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I would
It's an
say
honor to be there.
it's an honor to be here, and I will say a song about red penguins was a rare thing to be accepted by the Academy because that's
It
obviously that
works.
does
It
the Hall of
works.
Fame. But it worked. It worked. I'm here, and
Well,
I'm sure one day,
we very
and I'm
nearly
sure,
weren't here because we have had the absolute hell trying to get this recording going. This is the
and
problems of Melbourne's lockdown.
an absolute shocker of getting this recording going. But we're here, and I will say, I'm sure in the future we may hear the Red Penguin song. But right now, who knows what that sounds like? I'm sure it was fantastic.
I reckon it was. But another thing, Joshua, that was an absolute shambles was our biology career. Now,
Oh,
you and I have made some bad decisions. Not your typical teenager bad decisions, but biology is by far the worst decision we've ever made. I don't know why we decided to do it, but we did. And there's one specific prac that I remember where I think our teacher, who always kind of had faith in us, went, "Oh, these guys are lost causes."
I,
Now, what we had to do is we had some bacteria in a dish because that seems to be a thing that you do in science. They just have bacteria lying around in
that's
dishes.
it's. I will say, Jono. First of all, going into this story, that's true. We made a bad decision choosing biology. I will say, compared to other bad decisions, it probably wasn't the worst bad decision. Getting someone pregnant, not a great decision.
Not a
You
great
know,
decision.
uh, doing drugs, probably not a good decision. Doing
No.
biology, I'll put it up there with both of those, though.
Yeah, yeah. I reckon doing copious amounts of cocaine and doing biology are definitely on a level playing field.
And I will
But
say, sometimes maybe those two go together. Who knows?
yeah, if we had have pursued it, it would have. So
Yeah,
we
exactly.
had our dish of bacteria, and what you had to do is you had to inject a certain amount of caffeine into it, and you would monitor it on a microscope or whatever it is, and you had to like track the heartbeat, the rhythm of the bacteria because they would like all beat as one. And I remember that it was sort of written down like the increments you had to use, but also we did further math. We're not good at math. We couldn't
We
figure
didn't. We're
out,
not.
we don't know when to divide by 100 or times by 0.2 of a millionth. Like that doesn't make any sense to
I'll tell
us.
you. I'll say this, Jono. I'm so bad at math. I can't tell you right now what long division is. I'm that bad.
Look, as someone who is about to complete a science degree and has done some very complex math subjects, you never
It
need
was.
it. You never need it.
I mean, yeah. Okay. First of all, don't big yourself up. You're doing dirt science. Continue.
Yeah, dirt science. I remember that. I went to the RMIT Open Day and I was talking about, oh yeah, like I want to do science, but I'm kind of more into like geography. And she's like, oh, we've got this mad soil salinity program. I'm like, I bet you it's not that mad. I'm sorry to burst your bubble up, but I bet you it's not that mad.
I
But
do. I do love those teachers that are like so into the thing they're doing, and you going, maybe not as exciting as you think it
it's like just
is.
because you love salty dirt doesn't mean that I'm gonna make it the rest of my life. But look, maybe I would have been happier if I had of. But
Exactly,
with
Jono.
these
Back on the top.
bacteria, yeah, with
Yeah,
these
back onto the
bacteria,
top.
are we not yet? Okay, we can cut that. But yeah, back to these bacteria.
Fine,
Um,
go ahead. Yep.
we're trying to figure out what dosage of caffeine to give them, and we thought we'd done it correctly, just a small amount or whatever, like I know, like a teaspoon or something. That's all good, and they just completely flatlined. And I remember we had like a substitute that day or whatever, and he came over and he's like, "Oh, how much did you give it?" And we're like, "Oh, like a teaspoon." He's like, "No, you meant to give it like 100th of a teaspoon." So what we'd done is we'd literally injected so much caffeine into this bacteria that we'd caused a whole colony to go into cardiac arrest
I mean,
and you
yeah.
just have a heart
Talk
attack.
talk about cocaine. Let's just say that was not our shiniest moment in that
No,
class.
but it was
And
like
I will
every
say,
single prac something would go wrong.
we didn't have a lot of shining moments though. So
No,
it was one of those things where uh, it was definitely one of the low points. Bet there wasn't that much higher from it.
No, the next year, you and I were in different classes. There was a third bloke as well who we always did our pracs with. You were in a class with him, and I was in a separate class, but they ran at the same time, and they were like connected to each other. And we're doing a prac one day, and the teacher that we had in year 11 was your teacher, and she came into my room, and she's like, "Oh, the boys that you used to do the pracs with last year, they've actually done it right this time. Like you guys, I can't remember what we we're doing, but you had done something and you'd done it correctly. And it was the first prac you'd done without me. So she came over to see if I was the problem. And me and my partner had completely bunged it up and it wasn't working. And then she was just absolutely rinsing me, going, "You were the reason that this never worked."
Jono, I think I want to give you a couple warnings. You know,
Okay.
we live in a
Sure.
very we live in a world where we're doing most of the stuff online. Lots of talking to people on cameras,
Way
talking
too
to
much.
people,
I've been in
sharing
this
each
chair
other's
for like
screen.
12 hours today, honestly. More,
I mean,
honestly, more.
honestly, a lot. It's worrying. And I will say sometimes what you need to do is, you can't sort something out, so you need to help someone, or you're sharing your screen with someone so you can help them. I just want
Yes.
to warn you next time you do it that you don't do something like my teacher. It happened a couple years ago.
Okay, I'm ready,
Uh,
I'm ready.
I was in a classroom, and this teacher didn't really know how screen sharing worked.
Is this a university class?
This was a university class.
Yeah, so they're
Um,
they're probably older than the university itself.
You would be correct. They are
Yeah.
probably, yeah, they are the age of which you probably start listening to AC/DC unironically.
Yep, gotcha. Exactly.
Gotcha.
Makes
You get
sense.
really excited when you listen to that kind of stuff, right? And they were probably there in that one video where they're going down near the market. Point
Yes, the
point being,
iconic
the
video.
video. Point being, screen sharing can be dangerous.
Yes.
My teacher, they were teaching us about something, and they were showing something on their screen, and sometimes you don't realize what the screen is catching, so you can catch the whole screen and you can catch the window.
Yep, big difference. It always bungs everybody up. It's difficult.
Always bungs
I get
always
it.
bungs anyone up. I've been bunged by it. You know this. I had a bit of an issue. Let's
Yeah.
not talk about what I work in right now. Point being that the teacher had minimized a window and showed like a chat, and they had just had like three messages to like the head dean where they were complaining about another teacher.
No, and now the
Yeah,
entire lecture or whatever has seen
like another
this chat.
lecturer,
Oh, no. They're
they were
just
complaining
gossiping about another
about this
lecturer.
other going like this teacher doesn't know what they're doing, and then they're going, listen, just like give them a chance, come on. And it was that weird moment where like they'd gone quiet, and we were all in. There was probably like 20 kids in this 20 people in this class, and we're all watching the screen, and we're all obviously typing private messages to each other because obviously
Yeah,
you do.
yeah, exactly. Going, "Oh my god, look
Because
at this.
obviously there
Have
was
you
like,
seen
what the
it?"
hell is this kid? Yeah. And let's just say there was this weird awkward moment where they had where he like was and right, and we're gonna move on, and they they went and they quickly started like frantically trying to
Oh, so
switch
they
screens.
realized that it was showing what it shouldn't
Yeah,
be
because
showing. Oh.
you put your hand over the team screen, and it'll pop up with a little video of what's happening.
Yeah,
Sometimes
gotcha,
it'll have a
gotcha.
little video, and you can see what it's showing. So it showed the video, and needless to say, he realized that everyone had seen this like line of like 8 messages where they were complaining against the person.
Oh, like it's a proper roast.
Yeah, it was so bad. Luckily, I feel it's one of those things where it's hard to know other when it's like a high school. If someone's complaining about another lecturer, you probably know that teacher in high school, right?
Yeah,
In uni, at
definitely,
least
definitely.
you don't always know what that lecturer
Yeah,
is.
there's a high chance you'll never meet them before.
Yeah, and thank God I never did. That was
Look,
an awkward conversation.
I can imagine. Now, I swear there's like different scales to this at uni. I had a guy on the other hand who just openly just shared private stuff on his computer, like stuff that you're not meant to be showing everybody. And this was back when I still can't believe this that when I first started uni. It's only like 4 years ago now, but we would hand stuff in person to the submission box, and we would literally get our marks back on paper, like it wouldn't be in the system. But they started
What?
phasing it in. Yeah, this was
You
like,
did that?
yeah, we
I've
did
never
that.
had to do that.
Yeah,
That's
it was
crazy.
bizarre. We were like right at the turnaround point because
I
when
was
we were in second semester, they started like making it compulsory for everybody to do
uh,
it. Yeah,
I remember I was talking to someone, and it was when it was a couple years older than us, and they were saying they were like they would have to finish their essay and then like bolt across campus to hand it in
yeah.
the selection block
You'd
box.
have to like
Never
jump
I
on a train and zing it
Yeah,
into the uni to
I
submit.
I was luckily never had to do that. I was always online. But this is something I didn't think you
Yeah.
would anyone I knew had to deal with
Look, there's
this.
actually pros to it. Like my mate once, the office lost his assignment. They like so
Oh,
they like stamp him off or whatever when they come through. So they had it on record that he submitted it, but it just never ended up anywhere. So he got 100%. But then like 2 months later, they found it, but and he got like I don't know, like 61 or something. But because he'd already
jeez.
been given a higher grade, it's university policy that the higher grade stays. So he ended up getting 100%.
Oh,
But
that is probably the most luckiest lost homework. Imagine if your dog ate your homework, but it was like in the office, you
yeah,
know?
exactly. You'd still get it. But yeah, when the times were changing and they were making it compulsory for all the old lecturers to do online marking, this particular guy that I had, he couldn't figure out how to do it. So in order to give our marks back, what he did is he just goes like shares his screen in the lecture room on the projector, puts everybody's marks up on the spreadsheet and goes, this is
Oh,
completely illegal, but just look for your name, look for your mark, don't look at anybody else's
oh,
mark.
that is so bad. I remember
I got
in
a
high school, I think
100% on that test though.
oh, well, first, at least you're not the guy that like probably got like 50 or something, or like did
Yeah,
really, really bad,
I could
and you
flex
could.
on everybody else.
Oh God, I can just feel the awkwardness.
Okay, Joshua, it is time for the first time on Committee Nons to bring back a repeat segment, one we've already done before. How exciting is that?
Ooh, what is
Now,
that?
well, it's a personal favorite of mine, and I think that's definitely not just because it's our only segment that we have. It will always have a special place in my heart because of the torment that goes into it. But I would like to welcome everybody to episode 2 of Hospitality Tales.
It's hospitality tales. Something, something, gotta have whales. Da 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 da. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to Hospitality Tales, most of them are about our good friend Karen. Not Karens, they're just Karen. They're all the
Just
same.
Karen.
They're the same character in every story. They're the
It's
exact
like
same
this.
person.
Yeah. It's like John Smith, but for Karen.
Yeah, exactly. It's an interchangeable entity. Um,
Yeah,
but
we
this
all know a
one,
Karen.
yes, we all do, and we've come across a lot of them. But this one, it's about a Karen, but it's not about just a raging one. It's not about an angry one. There's plenty of them. Plenty of those stories will come. This one, genuinely, when it happened, I'm like, you are the smartest woman I have ever met. I was just in shock. I couldn't believe that someone actually had like the thought in their mind to do this. So let me set the scene. It was a weekend. I worked at a brunch cafe, and you've been to that cafe on a weekend in the morning, like a Saturday or Sunday morning. And it's packed. It's full. Heaps of people
I
everywhere, right?
I will say this: I have been to the cafe that you worked at, and it is crazy how many people go to that cafe.
It's a small
I can
cafe,
confirm.
but I think with cafes, the smaller they are, the more people go in there. It's because they look
The
busy, so more people come in because they think it must be good.
Yeah, it's like how they say the larger the harder the fall. The
Yeah,
smaller the
that's
cafe,
right.
the bigger it looks
Yeah,
because there's lots of people.
yeah, no, you're honestly true. So it's one of these mornings. It's absolutely thumping and a bumping. And how it worked behind the bar is there'd be two people on the coffee machine, and then you'd have two people like doing cold drinks and smoothies and all that kind of thing, washing dishes, doing Uber orders, just kind of all the rest of the stuff. And then,
Yeah,
usually during normal service, there's not that many people coming up to the register to pay. Just every now and then, someone might come to pay every 3 or 4 minutes or something, and then same thing every couple of minutes. You might have someone coming to the register, but when it's super, super, super busy, it gets crazy. Like you'll have a solid line, and you might be stuck on the register for 45 minutes or so, and it's just you cutting through this line, and that means that the other guy is left on his own doing all the cold drinks and stuff. So if the phone
Yeah,
rings, he can't do that because he's doing two people's work on his own. So you
of
have to
course.
answer the phone. So keep that in mind. But
Righto.
at this particular stage, I think the line was continuously probably about 10 or 12 people long, and you'd get through a couple of people, and then a couple of people would add. And I'm cranking through people as fast as I can, 20, 30 seconds per person, which still means you're waiting for like 5 minutes, right? It's a long time to wait. I get it. But I get a phone call, and I'm like, oh, it's X Cafe, Jonathan speaking, blah, blah, blah. They're like, oh, I'd like to make an order. I'm like, okay, all good. I'll just serve this next customer, and then I'll get back to you. Put them on hold, serve the customer, pick them up, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'd
Easy.
like to make a phone order." I'm like, "Yeah, no worries. It's pretty busy at the moment. I will give you a heads up. Maybe if you're ordering now, pop down in 20 25 minutes or something. Like it's going to be a long wait." And she goes, "Oh no, 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 no." I'm like, "Oh, she's going to have a go at me for long wait times." I'm like, "Oh yeah, like I'm sorry, it's just like super busy." She's like, "Oh no,
Right.
I'm here." I'm like,
Oh,
"What do you mean you're here?" And, like, in my head, I thought that she was just, like, waiting outside or something, like,
you
in the
were
car. Like, a
right.
lot of people do that.
Right. You were worried they were about to like go, nuclear. They were like gonna
Yeah.
say, "Why isn't it? Why can't it be so quickly?" Obviously.
100%. I was ready for an explosion, but then when she said she was here, I thought, "Oh, okay, she's, like, waiting outside in the car." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, outside." She's like, "No, I'm in the line," and she waves at me. This
Oh.
lady is, like, 4 people back in the line. There's only, like, 3 people in front of her, 3 or 4 people, and she's rung me up to try and jump ahead of everybody else, and it's a terrible move. You should never do that. Please never do it.
Oh.
And I set her docket to the side and waited till we actually got to her and then
Oh.
put the
Come
order on the
on.
board. But yeah, I couldn't believe that. She found the ultimate way to push in line while still being in
Damn.
line because she's just
I
rung and got ahead of all those people.
I w-
Genius.
I will say, John, as someone who's a big fan of trying to find ways to cut corners sometimes, that's such a genius. That's so genius.
I just
Would
couldn't
you
believe it.
Damn, I wish. Are you telling me that if that had happened, you would 100% always take away the doctor to the side until they come?
Oh yeah, because it was a dog move. You can't
But
do
what if?
that.
Okay, wait. Then their problem was they had specified they were in line. What they
Yep.
should have done is not
Not
specified they're
told
in
me.
line, not told
100%.
you, and then when they got there, you just like if you had already like ordered your food or something for pickup, you just order your coffee.
Yep.
So you have. I actually don't know if that's
But the thing is, there's no point her even being in the line. What would have been smarter is, and like, if she was trying to be smart about it, is just ring up, order, and then come down when it's ready. But she hadn't had the foresight. She'd got there and seen that it was super duper busy, and then gone, well, I'm gonna try and find a way to fast track that. And luckily, well, unfortunately for her, she got put with the one employee who just has zero tolerance for customers pulling sneakies.
Jono, I've realized something about the news recently that I'm trying to find stuff that makes me laugh because let's be honest, we're in that kind of state right now.
Yeah, 100%. You gotta find humor in something or you're
You
gonna
get,
have a bad time.
you got to find humor in the small things, and I found a story the other day about a woman. It was a vaccine scam, I guess,
A
and they
vaccine
had
scam?
they had got a card for the vaccine, but they had misfilled it because they obviously didn't get one, and somehow they'd gotten a card right.
Oh, like,
But
yeah,
instead of
I didn't
writing,
have that at mine, but is it like a card and it's like
I think
first dose, second
yeah,
dose, and you, like,
righto,
pick it?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, gotcha,
exactly.
gotcha.
But I think it might have been not here. It might have been America. But
Yep.
they got in a card for it, and instead of writing Moderna, they'd write a Madderna, MAD,
Oh, no.
and it's just like you gotta be disappointed in that. You gotta be like, of all the times to like had put it all into effort, and then you fuck up the spelling.
See, people, a bit skeptical of the AstraZeneca vaccine. I'm not. I haven't. Big promotion. Go and get your AstraZeneca. But that's not the one to be worried about. You need to be worried about the Aldi version of Moderna, Moderna.
Okay. Yeah, don't go to your local. I mean, I've got
Your
nothing
local
against Audi.
German
Yeah,
supermarket.
don't go to Audi where they've got Moderna. That's probably not the place you want to go for your vaccine. I'm
It's like,
fully
where did you
informed on
find
that.
it? Oh yeah, it was just in the bargain bin in the middle
Yeah,
aisle.
look, they were telling me if I just give them 50 cents, they'll give me a card. I mean, a vaccine.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely a vaccine, definitely.
uh, you want a vaccine? Yeah, yeah. We forgot vaccines. Follow me. Yeah, yeah. Follow me.
I want to say something on the vaccine.
Right.
It's just I don't know why people are going to the like the big vaccine hubs because you see the pictures on the news and everything. It's like video footage of just these lines. People are saying I've seen it on TikTok. People are like waiting for 3 or 4 hours to get vaccinated. I just booked
Yeah,
privately at just a local GP. I went in there. I got there 20 minutes early, and I was actually out before I was even meant to have my shot. Like,
that
it
is.
just book privately. That's what my
Yeah,
recommendation is, because no one knows you can do it, I think. So everyone's just going to, like, the
I think it's just
showgrounds and stuff.
because like it's one of those things where everyone has been sort of gone right. We know where the vaccine hub is. We know where we get tested. So
Yeah,
everyone flocks to the places they know.
just goes
But
to the
everyone just
main
goes.
one.
But also, I think some people, they might want one specific over another one for some reason, and they know that this place actually does this specific thing over another one.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't have a
yeah.
problem with
That's
it, but
fair. I respect that decision, yeah. But no, it was great. Like, I got a lollipop in mine and everything. It was
oh,
fantastic.
I will say the best part of getting any vaccination is the lolly you get afterwards. I feel like my excitement about a vaccine 100% depends on the lolly or sweet I'll get after it, right?
Have you got it
I
yet?
I have not gotten it
Have you
yet.
booked in, though?
I have. I believe I'm getting it in a couple weeks.
Oh,
A
because I
week
was
and a
gonna
half?
suggest you go where I am because you can take as many lollipops as you want. There's no
Oh,
limit. I know. How
that's a
good's
top
that?
tier vaccine spot. I remember getting vaccine in school, and
Oh,
they
mate,
they had a
that was
bucket.
like the best like
Oh,
comedy to ever witness. You just see the like toughest people in the year level just
just
like breaking down,
crumble.
but like yeah, and it was very humbling for them, I think.
Uh, it's like all the people that are like good at sport, they have these big muscly arms, and they just crumble in the corner, like lying, like they've just been knocked in the head or
Yeah,
something.
I got
They're just
roasted
out
by
of
the
it.
nurse one day at one of those
Oh,
things because
I
we
don't.
we went
Mm,
to a bit of a schmancy school and we had to wear the long sleeve like button shirts, and
right?
they
Yeah.
had the
Yep.
the button on the wrist, and for some reason I don't know why, but she wanted to put it in my right arm. I'm right-handed. She wanted to put it in my right arm. I don't know. I
Oh
must have
no,
had like something wrong with my left arm. I don't know. Maybe she was just
too
playing
thin.
with me. Yeah, too thin. She couldn't. The
It
needle
was
was
like a
too big
stick.
for the
Yeah,
arm.
it was a stick. If she put it in, it would just go straight through it. It'd
It
be
would go
really bad.
straight through it. Yeah, but on my like if you're using your right arm, you got to undo your button with your left hand. That's really
Of
hard. But I
course.
managed to do it. What was harder is just doing it up. So I just got my mate to do it for me, and the we got kept in like the holding pen. Once you had your shot or whatever, you just go like next door and you'd sit there for 20 minutes. She walks
Yeah.
in and she just goes, "How old are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, she's talking to me." I'm like, "Oh, I'm like, I don't know, 14." She's like, "Well, when my kids were 4 years old, they could do their own buttons. So I don't see why there would be any point, any need for you to get your friend to do it, okay? He's gotta look
Oh,
after himself. He's just had a vaccine." I'm like, "What? Slow the hell down."
oh,
I'm just getting him to
that
do
is
up one button on my
go,
sleeve because I'm
yeah.
right-handed.
Go back to doing slightly poorly versions of vaccines,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
stop
exactly.
criticizing me for having problems with doing my button up. I will say, Jonah, as I said, I feel like my enjoyment of a vaccine directly is compared to the lolly you get afterwards. And as you said, we went to a schmancy school, and I feel like in that school you always had there was like a bucket of like those Allen's
It was the
mixed
Allens or
bags, right?
the
Or
Natural
the
Sweet
snakes.
Company snakes,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
all the snakes. I feel like that's a pretty high tier. I remember once going and they gave me like one of those like little like cherry raspberries. That is such a low bar.
Oh, that's not good. The
Or
main reason I wanna give
mm,
blood is because if you go to, I think the Victorian Blood Bank, I think that's what it is, you get a
oh, you get
cookie.
the
You
cookie.
Yeah.
That's the ad. You
Uh-huh.
get the best cookie you ever get, apparently. That's
Yeah,
what they
that
keep telling me.
and it must be I don't know if it's actually beneficial because I haven't gone, but if I'm gonna donate anyway, that's where I'm going because I wanna get the cookie.
I'll tell you what, yeah, I don't have any interest in drawing from blood, but I'll do it just to get the bloody cookie. If it's that good a cookie, and that's what I'm claim it seems like it's claiming to be, it is a damn good cookie. I am
Oh,
here for
yeah.
the cookie.
The issue is they don't actually want my blood because I've had lots of issues with my immune system, so I got no white blood
True.
cells. I'm also vegetarian, so I probably got no iron and I got no B12. What else? It's probably just like
Yeah,
water in there. They give it to
I'm
someone who's
pretty
on death's door and they just collapse.
yeah, you're probably not that help. I don't think I'm that much more of a help either. I think between the two of us, we probably could mix our blood and
Oh.
probably make a good enough blood. It's it's like taking two fives and making it into a 10.
Yeah, exactly, that's totally how it works. But can you
Yeah,
imagine if they
100%.
had to, like, show you a picture of the person you're getting blood from? So, like, you've been in a massive car accident, they've scraped you off the side of the road, you're propped up against the ambulance, like, bleeding out, and they've got the drip in your arm, and there's, like, a photo of, like, the donor on the bag of blood, and they just see this, like, 6 foot
This,
1, lanky, pale, anemic looking
yeah.
fella, and they just go, "Oh, mate, I'm not long for this world."
Okay, I've got an idea for an invention for you. What if
Yep.
they made like a Tinder for blood donors? It's like you're on
Yeah,
death's door,
that's
and this and
smart.
this and this nurse will shove a phone in front of you, and you just swipe left or right based on what the person looks like,
You're like, "No, not that one,
and
not
whether
that
you
one,
like
not that
what you want
one."
their blood from. No, I don't want that person.
She's going,
Nah, not
"Angus,
that
you're
person.
bleeding out, bro, make a decision."
Yeah, everyone keeps flicking and trying to look for someone who's healthy enough, but it's photos. It's like a face photo,
It's
and you're
just
like, and then it,
full of, like, people with pimples because 'cause they've just gone to get the cookie and
exactly. Jono, talking about bringing back the classics, maybe a little too soon, but we're just going to go in anyway. I got an update for you.
Oh, I'm ready. What is this
Ready for it?
regarding?
This is the new segment called "Trying to Do a Skateboard."
Oh, I like it, I like it. This is good. The tech not the technology, the terminology the kids
The
use.
terminal, yeah, as the kids would say, trying to do a skateboard. In the first episode,
"Hey,
obviously, the
man, do you wanna go
pilot.
do a skateboard?"
Hey man, you want to try skateboard? It's not a drug, I promise. Anyway, uh, so I haven't been able to do too much skateboarding lately, Jono.
I'm hearing excuses already. I'm disappointed.
I know this is an update, which is honestly just disguising a complaint I've got. I
Okay, yes.
this is an update which is disguising the complaint and complaining I'm going to
I
do.
wanna hear your
So
excuse for not being able to skateboard very frequently.
So okay, first of all, I could be just using my bike helmet, and I will say this: I was getting ready to make sure my skateboard helmet was coming in the mail because you need a proper skateboard helmet to do
A blood
skateboarding.
bucket, they
Yeah,
call it.
a blood bucket, obviously, as the kids would say, and I have had the worst luck.
Oh, no.
I got I just so when I
Your
first did
knob
it,
protector.
so this is now a month ago. Jesus Christ, this already been a month.
Wow,
It
that's a
was a
long
month
time.
ago when I got my first helmet. It was too small, so I sent it back.
And
Then
can
I
I
went looking
say,
for
you
one that actually
got
fit
the
me.
like, the biggest skull size possible. Like,
I
I got the same size
I've
helmet
got
and
a
it's
huge head.
yeah, yeah. You gotta fit all those brains in there somehow. Like, I have lived my entire life up until the point I met you thinking I had a big head because 'cause I'm the biggest size of everything
Mm,
to do with headgear, and then you come along, and I'm like, "Okay,
I
there is
have got a
somebody else out there."
huge I have got a huge melon, and I thought that the XL would be fine, and I was excited for it, and I bought it, and it didn't fit. So I was
Disappointing.
looking. I went looking for. I went. Pardon?
It's disappointing.
I know it's disappointing. I went looking for one, and I found one. I actually found one that was a perfect size for me, and not only that, but I went and I bought the larger size because there was no way I was going to get something that wasn't. And I sent a message to them saying, "Can we just confirm that the thing that I ordered is going to come in the mail?" Because I was just a bit paranoid going into this
What do
because
you
for
mean?
obvious
Can
reasons.
I just confirm that my parcel will actually get to me?
Well, it was actually going to get to me, and that it was the right size, right?
Mhm.
And so I got a message like, "Hey, just confirming that I had sent and that I had ordered for this, and I'm gonna get this." There, yep, no worries. We got the order for the XXL,
Yep.
XXXL. Actually, it was 3XL
Oh,
because yes,
fantastic.
I have a huge melon. Um, it was a 3XL helmet. I was excited for this, and 3 days ago, I was so excited because in the mail, you wouldn't believe it, the helmet came.
Fantastic.
I
Here we
was so
go.
excited, and the only thing I needed was to get my elbow and knee pads because otherwise I'd be fucked if I'm gonna fall over without
I
them.
haven't
Obviously,
got them, and I kind of regret it. I've already got like a permanent scar on my knee
look,
from like day 2.
that's fair, that's fair, and I will say, Jono, I went to go look in, and somehow, first of all, I thought they had fucked up the box because the box came up and it said lime. I had got this purple one, and I'm
Yep.
sure put it here. Josh, on the YouTube video, put it there. You idiot. There. Okay, there you go.
Perfect
Right?
spot.
So, perfect spot. So you got the video. It was a purple helmet. It was a purple helmet because I like purple, okay? I got a purple helmet, and the first thing I see, not a great start, on the box it says lime green. It
Yeah, that
says lime green.
you can look at that and go, "Hmm."
Not only does it say lime green, it said lime green, and next to it had XS. I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
no.
That's alarm bells. My first was
Yeah.
okay. Let's just hope that they had forgotten the box. It's a different
Just, like,
box.
grab a random box and
They've
put the helmet in it.
they put it in a different box. It's fine. The problem came when I undone the box. I took out my helmet and I noticed on the helmet, I was like, "This looks fine. It probably's fine size wise." On the helmet, I had a sticker that said extra small. I'm like, "What has happened? I've gone out of my way. I
Yeah.
have gone out of my way this time. There's no excuses. I've literally gone out of my way." To make sure that this is going to be the right helmet for me. I've waited what feels like forever. I actually went out of my way to have a conversation about this. I know it sucks. The one time, the worst part about this, John, is I haven't sent the message about it yet, and I will be doing it very quickly.
You
My
have to.
problem is, I'm I'm scared to complain because I feel like I'll look like a Kevin. I feel
Oh,
like I'm gonna be a
that would
male
be
Karen. I'm too
detrimental.
scared. How do you in these days complain about something? I've got a genuine reason to complain. I understand that. I've got a genuine reason to complain, but I can't. I'm too scared to complain
See, I
because
was
I feel like,
actually in this position myself recently. We ordered,
oh, fantastic.
fish and chips, I think it was, and,
Oh,
I ordered a veggie burger, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Drove up there, 10 minutes or so, got it, drove back, 20-minute round trip. Mum and dad got their fish and chips, all good. Open up the veggie burger, it's beef patty. And
oh.
look, if
Are
I
you
ate
sure
meat,
it was an Impossible Burger? Maybe
my
it's an
that's what my
Impossible
dad
Burger.
thought. He's like, "Oh, maybe are you sure it's just not like fake meat or whatever?" I'm like, Yeah, like it's a fish and chip shop. It's not a high gourmet fish and chip shop. It's the place where like 10 people's food costs like $2.50,
Yeah,
right? It's one
it's
of
a
those
place.
places.
It's a place where they've got newspaper in the windows, but everyone goes there.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what it is. And yeah,
Gotcha.
look, if I had ordered chicken, I got beef, it would have been fine. But yeah, I don't eat
Well,
beef. So
you can't.
we rang them up, and I felt terrible. It's the first time I've ever been on that end, and I kind of understood why like customers like get so angry about it because it was like, oh, like you've got home, you think you're gonna eat, and then you got to ring up and try and say it really nicely. Hey, like I think you guys have made a mistake, blah blah blah. Then you've got to drive all the way there again, another 10 minutes there. Then you've got to explain yourself at the counter. And that's like really hard because they're like, what do you mean? Like, I'm stumbling over my words, like trying to be nice about it. I'm like, oh, so I think it's wrong. I mean, it is wrong, but like, I think
Yeah.
they're too passive. You just got to be like,
How do
hey,
you?
you guys
Yeah.
made a
How do you?
mistake. I'm fine with it, but like, can we just sort it out?
Yeah. How do you broach the subject without looking like an asshole?
Yeah,
Because
I don't know.
I'm sitting here waiting because I know the only solution is either I give them an email or the dreaded I give them a call, and I don't want to
No,
give a call.
no, no.
I don't want to do it.
No
But
situation ever requires a phone call.
I know, but it's one of those things where it's almost breaching that point where like you either have to give them a decent email where you explain the problem and you send photos, or like you just have to give him a call, and I don't want to give him a call.
Look, you might have
I
to,
I'm a,
but in the
look.
meantime, have you been out? Have you been skating at all, or are you just waiting for the helmet?
I have not been skating, and I
Hmm.
wish I have, Jono. I feel deflated is what I have right now. I'm
Look,
feeling deflated.
what you have to look forward to is a world of just trial and error and error and error and error, because that's what I've been doing. Like, honestly, we touched on this in episode 1, like, learning a new thing as an adult, it doesn't get easier confidence-wise.
No,
Like,
it doesn't.
every single I see people, like, skating people have actually started skating around the neighborhood since I've started. Like, I think people who have had skateboards and have done it have gone, "Oh, like, I might get mine out again
Jono,
and do it."
Jono, I gotta interrupt you. I agree. It's one of those things where summer's coming and people are getting out, and you'll never believe this. On one of my recent walks with my dog, I found the local skate crew. I
Oh,
found
no. The click.
I found the I found this local skate click.
The
There's a church
Groms.
near me. There's a church like down a couple streets, like in like a corner area where I don't often go.
Yep.
But in there, there's this like random wood like ramp, and there's like a couple of like kids, and they're clearly like 13 and 14, but like they're all doing skate stuff there. I'm like, oh no, I found the local skate click. This is one of those movies. This is where like the skate click are like the enemy, and like I have to like be like, I'm like, it's like 21 Jump Street. I'm like the kid. I'm like pretending to be one of you. Hey guys, I can do a skateboard. Watch me.
I
And
I
oh my
reckon
god,
it's
I
a story
can't.
of compassion and friendship where, they're 13, they're doing their vaping, they're all their shays, but then
Watching
along comes
TikToks.
this grown man, full-time worker who, with the world's biggest, like, wheelie bin as a helmet, comes
I
over
know.
and he joins their crew, and you're like, you're their guy. That's what you've
Oh,
got to look forward to.
I'm like their muscle. Maybe I could roll with the crew
Yeah,
around
yeah,
town and be like the
yeah,
muscle.
exactly. They
Like,
become
hey.
your posse.
Oh, great. Oh my
But
god.
you
This is
see all
true. I will give updates on this then.
yeah, please do. I look forward to this documentary series. But you see people who've been skating for ages, they just come out of their driveway straight onto the road or whatever. I literally have to, like, walk onto the street, place the board down, get on, and every time I start, it's like I've never done it before. I'm
It's
falling over,
so
I can't
scary.
balance. It's like terrifying. My heart rate at like 150. But for the first time, a couple of days ago, I actually went on. I live near a bike path. I went on the bike
Oh,
path because I've been, like, training. I've been, like, going. There's, like, a playground near me with, like, smooth concrete paths and little
classic,
inclines.
yeah.
Yeah, and I've been like practicing, like, going straight and doing a little turn and going up the hill and then coming down and braking, and nearly ran over a dog today, so it's not going too well. But I'm like, I'm at.
Well,
Let's not worry
at
about
least he
that.
didn't. Yeah, okay, moving
I
on,
did it.
obviously.
I didn't. It was, like, seriously jumping in front of it, but, yeah, I got to the stage where, like, I am confident enough that I can actually go along the path, and that's why I got the board, because 'cause I'm like, just the image of cruising down near the river or whatever at nighttime, it's getting warmer now, it's getting lighter at nighttime, like, it'll be so nice, and what I discovered, if you live anywhere near trees, it's, like, impossible to skateboard because there's just, like, these
Yeah.
little gum nutty acorn things. So I've been on
Oh
this, like,
no.
super
So
smooth, like, concrete
yeah.
path in, like, the
So not
urban
only do you
area.
have to worry about like the wobbling of your normal skateboard, you've got to worry about like the other side skateboarding
It's
rumbling over
it's
the gum
honestly
nuts.
like driving on corrugated iron. So, like, there's, like, this urban section, and it's like,
Mm,
smooth concrete, and then you go into, like, where these trees are, and it just goes like and,
right.
like, you're rattling, and you're going absolutely nowhere, but
I will
look, it
say, Jono, I've realized that currently my plan is I have like this I have obviously everyone has a driveway, but I've realized when I was practicing at the start that my driveway actually is in itself on like a decline,
yeah,
which
how's
is not a
on a
good thing.
decline? No, incline. Incline's the one.
Incline, but it's a decline, the opposite of an incline,
Yeah, yeah, yep,
100%.
yep.
Duh. But my problem is, I'm realizing it's not good for starter skaters.
I think
Like
it
going an
is.
incline. I disagree because
It's
I'm
the
stuck and I don't have any direction to like. hold on to, and I'm like scared.
Yeah,
I've
and
been
if you
doing
can't
like,
stop, then it's
oh
game
yeah.
over.
So instead of taking like the long like 10 meter route, I've been like just doing like the width of like the 2 to like one and a
Oh, you've
half
been
meter
going
like turn
acrossways.
across. I'm just trying to get like my balance on the board because Jesus Christ, it is just it's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of work. But I'll tell you what, Jono, if we can pull ourselves together, I hope that by summertime we can like go skating across the beach because
We're,
that's my
we're
ultimate
gonna
goal
get
with
our
this.
Yui boom. We're gonna go down to St Kilda. We're gonna have an
Hundred
ice
percent,
cream in one hand. We're gonna have the sunnies on, and we're just gonna be cruising with our helmets. Always wear your
of
helmet.
course.
We're at this
Maybe even
stage in
some
life where like
maybe some
brakes are the
knees
only
and
thing we
elbow.
have going with us. Yeah,
Dare I
exactly.
say it? Maybe some knee and elbow pads
I
too.
think we need them, and yeah, wrist guards and everything. But
Wrist
no,
guards.
I look forward to it.
On the topic of like tech, Jono, I tell you what I saw the other day. I saw a shirt that's like body armor. It's for
What?
motorbikes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a thing with like some padding on the back and some on the front. I was so tempted to get it.
That's actually really smart. We should they have yeah, it's kind of like motorbike armor, but I remember I used to do like mountain biking and we had a mate who was
Hmm.
really into downhill. Yeah, and he had it was called like a turtle shell or something. So it's like yeah,
Yeah.
like a big like a back plate that you wear.
Yeah, it's
I
like a
think we
thing
need it.
on. It's basically just a shirt that I saw, and you put it on, and you got a little back plate. And I'm very much considering getting one of those too.
Look, when we start riding down mountains at breakneck speed, we need them. But
Hundred
look,
percent.
everybody knows about the 10,000 hour rule. It takes 10,000 hours to be a master. We're not going to be masters, but there's another
Nope,
rule that I've been talking to you a lot about with this
that's
podcast. Is
true.
we've been going, look, it's tough work. It's not. We listen to an episode and we go, oh, it's not exactly where we want it to be. But there's this rule. It's a TED talk. I recommend it. Talking about the 20-hour rule and how the first
Mm.
20 hours is where like 99% of people will give up when they're trying to do something. Barely anybody. I think it's even more than that, to be honest. Give up. Like not even 1% of people make it past the 20 hours of a new hobby, and in those 20 hours, you actually like can't improve. You can improve a little bit, but you can barely get anywhere. But once you get past them, that's when you've done all the bulk learning, you've done all the grinding, and then you can actually start making like big progress, big strides. So that's what I'm hoping. I don't think it will. That's what I'm praying happens with skateboarding. I'm about 10 or 11 hours in, do the same again, another 10 hours, and then I'm going to be a champion. Then I'm going to be a master. That's what I have in my head.
Jono, we've made it. Another episode of the Comedians. How are you feeling? We're 3 episodes in.
You know what? I said it last episode that we're coming for Hamish and Andy. I said it as a joke. This time, I'm saying it for real. I'm feeling confident. We're
I'll tell you
honing our
what,
craft.
we're honing it, and we're right now in that Karate Kid phase where they're practicing. They're doing wax on, wax off.
Yeah,
But I'll tell you what,
exactly.
we're getting there.
We're warming up, and it has actually been really good to see the amount of support. I was without going into the analytics, I was expecting about 15 or 20 people to listen to the first episode we dropped, the pilot, and we've got to the stage now where we've released that, we're a couple ahead, and we're looking at the numbers, and it's far in excess of that. And it's really, really nice to see these people crawling out of the woodwork, people we haven't talked to for years, people I've never talked to before, just dropping into the DMs and going, "Hey man, I listened to
Yeah,
the podcast. Like, keep up the good work, you guys. You guys are the hero, honestly.
yeah,
It
and
makes that's what makes it."
it's honestly so surprising that everyone's going, you go on you. I'm like, oh my god, is that praise? Is
Yeah,
that what this
exactly.
feels like?
Because like
If
pilot episode, we didn't know what we're doing. The audio was terrible. Everything went
Don't
awry,
get me
and
started.
and but people are like, "Hey man, like it didn't matter." Like they're literally like pushing us forward, and they're like, "Hey, like man, it doesn't matter. Like if you keep sticking at it, like it'll improve. Like you'll do really well." And it's to all of you people, thank you so much. But with that, that compliment out of the way, you won't get them from me very often. You were right. It does bring us to the end of episode 2. The episode title this week, The Smartest Karen in the World. And we will catch you on our socials, Joshua.
You can find us on Twitter, on YouTube, on Insta, and TikTok.
Very nice.
How
I
about
have I
that?
have actually
Easy.
followed us on Instagram this week. I don't have us on
I know.
anything else,
I
but I followed the
That's
Instagram
crazy.
account.
It's crazy. We're here.
All right. So we'll catch you on the socials, and we'll also catch you
All right.
next week.
I'll see you next week, John.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Adios.